It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to talk about Joe Smith Jr. in the aftermath of Beterbiev versus Smith. You know, they said that the fight was dubbed, you know, going into deep waters, and we didn't really go too deep in the water. We stayed in the kiddie pool, and the fight ended in like a round and a half. But listen, man, all jokes aside, right? I hate this is one of the things I hate about boxing fans sometimes. Okay, you can never, and this is why these fights like these overrated ass fights like Crawford and Spence don't happen when they should, because of how you guys act. Okay, Joe Smith Jr. was a 30-1 underdog when he fought Andre Fonfara. He was a hand-picked opponent when he fought Bernard Hopkins, and he won that fight. He managed to win both those fights as a 31-1 underdog and a hand-picked opponent against Bernard Hopkins. The guy then goes on, later on in his career, after some losses to the likes of Dimitri Bivol and Sullivan Burr, that guy then goes on to become WBO world champion, makes the title defense, and then he attempts to unify 3 of the belts in the division. So to go from 30-1 underdog to get yourself into a position where you can unify 3 of the titles. Yes, he didn't win. He got beat the fuck up, and it wasn't a competitive fight, but he got into that position to where he had the opportunity to fight for 3 belts. And there's thousands of boxers in his weight class. Almost all of them will never get the chance to be in that position. All right? It's a 1 in a million shot to even get that shot. And you guys want to sit here and you want to flap your gums and you want to spew this hot air coming from your mouth and your breath that this guy, the common man, Joe Smith Jr., the now former WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, was a bum? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Oh my God, bro. What's going on in the world today? What's going on in the world today? Where a guy can't lose a fight to the best knockout artist in boxing without being called a bum, without being called a nobody. Because I've been hearing it a lot. Some people have said that, Artur Beterbiev didn't beat nobody special in Joe Smith. He didn't beat nobody that good. He didn't stop him that good. They got to put down Joe Smith Jr. instead of recognizing that Artur Beterbiev is just on that level. He's on that creme de la creme, top of the top, rarefied air. He's going to be one of the best light heavyweights in the sport has ever seen when it is all said and done and the history books is written. So there's no shame in losing to a guy like that. The only 3 guys he's lost to were there was a guy he lost to like early in his career in 2010. He got stopped early in his career in 2010 against some club fighter in 4 rounds. Okay, which by the way, just to come back from that to become champion is beautiful. But like he lost that fight. He lost to Sullivan Barrera when Sullivan Barrera was at his best, but it's a competitive fight, but he lost. Lost to Bivol and he lost to Beterbiev. So he's looking at like two of the guys he lost to are going to go down as probably 2 of the greatest light heavyweights in the history of the sport. He's a guy in Joe Smith. Here's a guy in Joe Smith Jr. that his progression was a lot like the old fighters. Someone that wasn't the most talented guy in the world, wasn't the Olympian, wasn't none of that stuff. And this guy fought his way to progression. He fought his way to becoming champion. He fought his way into contention. Everything he got in boxing, he earned off the sweat of his brow, the same way he earns his hard-earned dollars in life. And you guys, not all you guys, but I've heard it. You guys come up here and you want to sit here and you want to discredit Joe Smith Jr. Let's be real. Let's get really honest about some things in boxing. Joe Smith Jr., yeah, he lost to Beterbiev. He got stopped. But Joe Smith Jr. has more balls than many of your favorite fighters. Even some of my favorite fighters. I mean, look. Dave Benavidez could have fought Beterbiev years ago. Did he run through the smoke? No, he didn't. He ran back to 68. And he said, I can't beat you. I can't beat you. All right? And he fought Kyron Davis. And he fought these guys that had no chance to beat him. And he ducked the smoke from Beterbiev. That's not me stating anything more than a fact. Right? That is a fact. That is not me being a hater. That is not me, hating on Benavidez. Anybody who's well read up on boxing, who knows the situation, what happened with Benavidez in the WBC in 2020 when he was got moved up there, okay, and could have fought Beterbiev as a #1 contender, decided to, you know, go back to 168 and get reinstated back in the rankings. So he didn't have the balls, all right, and neither did his team have the belief in him, whether it was him or his team. Someone in the Benavidez camp, whether it be Samson, his dad, or David Benavidez himself, someone lacked belief in Benavidez. All right? And they didn't have the balls to run to the smoke. Okay? And that's why he's fighting 154 and 160 pounders and then claiming he's this boogeyman, which is the biggest joke in the world. Then, right? Then you got, you know, I'm going to say it like this. You got my boy, right? Who I like, and I'm a huge fan of, Demetrius Andrade. Okay? He's saying this. He's saying that. Has he been ducked and avoided? Yes, he has. But he won't even fight freaking... He's sticking his nose up at Johnny back. Okay? And it's just getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous that these guys in boxing who are not actively, you know, seeking the smoke the way they should, who are coming off as very entitled fighters and people, these guys are getting praised. These guys are getting lifted up. But then the guy that puts it on the line like Joe Smith Jr., who has come from massive underdog to world champion, legitimate world champion too, with a title defense. You guys sit here and you want to put that guy down for losing to Beterbiev. I mean, I'm done. This is exactly why we have shit shows in boxing like Crawford and Spence, where it takes a gajillion years to make the fight happen because both fighters are going to need all the money they can get, because when one of them loses, you fickle-ass boxing fans are just going to say they were bums, they were no good, and you will no longer care about them. That's the harsh realities of boxing. But you know what? Let me just say this, closing statements. My respect goes out to Joe Smith Jr. Huge fan of his. I got nothing but time for the common man, and I'm still going to follow his career, and I'm still going to be looking forward to what he does next, because this is a guy that, okay, he's got 4 losses, so what? This is a guy that when that day comes, whenever it comes, when he decides to hang up the boxing gloves, and he's laying at bed at night, and he reflects on his boxing career, he's not going to have those questions of, if did I do everything I could have possibly did in my boxing career? Did I really test myself? Did I get everything I wanted out of my boxing career? You know, as far as like competitiveness, and you know, obviously they want to make money. The money comes first. So I'm sure he's made good money. He's got business. He got a business as well, removing trees and stuff. So he's good. Joe's good. But I'm just saying, like, he's not gonna have those questions that a lot of your favorite fighters are gonna have if they were to retire right now. So Joe Smith Jr. in my eyes, I look at him greater than a guy like Benavidez, because he's not over here running his mouth talking about what he could do, what he might do, all this bullshit. He's actually one in the ring and he's looked for the smoke, unlike Benavidez, unlike even in some cases my boy Andre, unlike Jamal Charlo, unlike a lot of these guys that we lift up praise up. So the Joe Smith Jr. slander needs to stop. I'm not here for it. I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys take care. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.